on that one early.
Here's what was great about that game, though. It sparked all of this discussion about Dan Mullen.
Right.
And recruiting and him shutting down media availability and everything else.
That?
So that was the exciting part of the game.
When you looked at that, and like we know, like he can kind of be an old curmudgeon, if you will, from time to time. But for him just to have that recruiting question, we already heard Kirby Smart give an answer to that. So the other coaches kind of could have had a sense that something like that was going to come up, and then to have Dan Mullen just go straight in and be like, hey, I don't like this question. We're going to shut down this availability
Chad,
and nothing else this week.
This was weird, Jill, and I mentioned this to Chad earlier this week. Look at their upcoming schedule. This is a very simple, hey, you know what? We're going to focus on football. We're not worried about recruiting. You know, we're all in. We're not going to shut the media out.
Yeah.
You know, you've got South Carolina coming up, then Samford, then Missouri, then Florida State. Finish strong, get 8 wins, go into the offseason with some momentum, and now the perception is, and perception is reality, the perception is he's feeling some heat.
Well, you could go, so it all was sparked by this story from The Athletic, right?
You play it off.
You know, you got anonymous coaches, SEC coaches coming out and saying, oh, the guy doesn't recruit, he's not as into it as Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, all this. You could go one of two ways with that if you're Dan Mullen. You could go the jovial, this doesn't bother me route, make little sarcastic comments, don't let it get under your skin. Instead, he went the route of, now you've pissed me off and I'm not answering your questions because I'm really upset that we aren't as good as we thought. So GTFO, media, everyone, and I'm not going to do it. And my players aren't going to answer questions about it too. It's a bad look. He did this sometimes at Mississippi State.
Yep.
He can be sort of an eccentric guy at times. I'm trying to think of the polite way of saying it. This is Dan Mullen at his eccentric, chip on a shoulder type mode, and it's not a great look for Florida. And honestly, when he says we're worried about the games right now, we'll handle recruiting during recruiting season, that confirms everything in that report about Dan Mullen and his lack of interest in recruiting compared to Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, who we see it around here at Alabama, recruiting never ends.